Okay, so that's LoggerNet. LoggerNet's all set up. And so the last thing we want to do is try to get one of these dashboards running in CSI web server, or get it hosted in CSI web server. So to do that, I'm going to try to deploy that. Well, actually, the first thing I'm going to do is go to the web server administrator here on the Azure VM. So I'm going to take the CSI web server, what is it called? CSI web admin, and pin it to the taskbar. Open it up. Okay, so the web server is running and it's listening on port 80, but we do not have any sites. We just have the root. It's just called the root. So now let's see if we can actually access this website, the root, from outside of the local network here. All right, let me close out of that. Okay, in the virtual machine here, I'm trying to look for a host name, because the way I access, so dataloggers.live20.com, that is a domain name that I've associated with the Azure virtual machine, but let's just use the IP address. I'm looking to see, DNS name configure. Oh, there we go. Okay. So there's our public IP. All right, we're going to, okay, an A record that starts with the specified label and resolves to this public IP address will be registered. Okay. So let's go eco house. All right, now it's configuring here. You can see this little notifier that it's saving this. So instead of using the IP address, we can use ecohouse.westindia.cloudapp.azure.com. So there we go. There's our DNS name here. Okay, so it's not it doesn't look like it's connecting to CSI web server yet. All right, so I'm going to add a subdirectory here. I'm just going to call it dashboard. So we've created dashboard under the main root site. Let me just look in configuration here. All right, so the HTML root directory for HTTP is under Documents, Campbell Sci, CSI Web Server. All right. And then we have this subfolder here is our subsite, which is called Dashboard. And let me just put in a index.html file here. And I'm just curious if that page will be served up by CSI Web Server if we go to the URL. Okay, no. We might have to open up another port here. Okay, so HTTP looks like it's open. But I wonder if we also have to open up so that could be just the firewall at Windows Azure. We may have to also add a port rule here in the Windows virtual machine. It's been so long since I set up all this stuff on my server, I forget exactly what I did. Okay. Let me just see if there's one called CSI Web Server that, no, it didn't set one up automatically. All right, so let's go port 80, TCP port 80, allow the connection. Just leave that. CSI Web Server. All right, so there it is. I forget what this was. Okay. There's no server. Okay, I'm going to see if I can use that DNS name to connect through remote desktop instead of using the IP address, just to see if that domain name is working yet. Okay, that is working. Let's try again. So it's not seeing CSI web server. Okay, this is just all this security in Internet Explorer that's set up internally. All right, I'm going to pause the video and try to troubleshoot this and see what is going on. Then I'll come back when I've hopefully figured it out. Okay, so I'll be